Welcome! Thank you for stopping by and checking out the Nevada Historical Society. We're Nevada's oldest museum. We are 120 years old as of this year. If you've ever been in our galleries, or maybe this is your first time, we're right now in 2025. We're doing some retrofitting and renovations to our building with a capital improvement project. So these museum artifact highlights that you're going to be watching are a great way to learn about some amazing stories of artifacts or maybe even animals that are in our collections. Our educational docents are very passionate to be able to share history about Nevada with you.
Good morning. I'm going to talk today about how Reno actually became a city and how land was auctioned off to build homes and property. So I want to start out by giving you just a little background on where all this land came from. So let's start in the 1860s. And this gentleman, Myron Lakes, he's considered the founder of Reno. In the early 1860s, he was buying property on both sides of the Truckee River. And one of the structures that he bought was an inn or hotel. And that's actually on the site of the current day Riverside Artists Loft. The other thing he did is he improved an old bridge that crossed the Truckee. And at that time in the 1860s, that was the only way you could get from Reno to Virginia City, the best way to cross the Truckee. And this picture shows the old Virginia Street, which is the current Virginia Street that we have today. And Myron he was a very savvy businessman. He built a toll bridge. And I like to think of this little guy as the toll taker. And you paid Myron to cross the bridge going and coming. So he was a very good businessman. And this bridge is the original Virginia Street Bridge that we have today, obviously remodeled 2 or 3 times. Now, at the same time Myron was buying property, Charles Crocker, who was the founder of the Central Pacific Railroad, was coming east. He crossed the Sierras and entered the Truckee Meadows in 1868. Now, Crocker wanted to find a railroad station. So he and Myron Lakes connected. They're both businessmen. And Myron said, I will deed to you acreage to build your station if you build it so that it ends up in the middle of the city, the lots that we can sell. So it's not really clear, but Myron deeded to Crocker between 80 and 160 lots. And let me show you. This is what the area looked like. So you can see the original, well, the Truckee River's the original, but here's Virginia Street. Here's the first bridge. So this is the Virginia Street Bridge. And this is the location along the river that Myron Lakes had his lake house. So you can see how many lots that they created. So the auction for the lots started May 9th, 1868 at 3 in the afternoon. And the first lot that was sold was in this area where the original depot was. And that lot sold for $550, which in today's money would be about $12,200. And at the time of the auction, about 1,000 people came from San Francisco, from Virginia City, anywhere that the advertisement about these lots came out. Now, the fun part, when they came to this area for the auction, there were not many structures. There was only the lake house and the bridge and maybe a few other small businesses. So the 1,000 people that showed up had to bring their own tents, their own blankets, and provide their own food. Now, the fun part about the auction was there was plenty of whiskey, though. That was noted. So you had plenty of whiskey for thirst and prevent the night chill. You might not have food, but you could drink. Now, by the end of May 9th, 70 lots had been sold, and that was about a fourth of the available lots within the property. Now, and building started on May 9th if people brought all of their supplies to start building. Now, one interesting thing, you notice we call ourselves Reno. Originally, Charles Crocker's brother wanted to name the city Argenta, which makes sense. Argenta is Latin for silver, and with all the mining in Virginia City and the Comstock, does make sense. But less than 2 weeks before the auction, Charles Crocker decided to change the name to Reno. Now, there's not a concrete reason why he did this, but speculation was Argenta is 7 letters, Reno is 4. Maybe it was cheaper or easier to spell and print on tickets. Crocker picked the name Reno after Jesse Lee Reno. He was a Union general in the Civil War. He died in 1862, so he never knew a town was named after him. But that's the name that Crocker chose. So the auction started, like I say, May 9th, 3 in the afternoon, and the auctioneer was the mayor of Virginia City. So with only 70 lots sold on May 9th, obviously lots were sold after the main event, and we now have the city of Reno.